Welcome to this edition of the Mayor's Report for Pleasanton. I'm your host, Splendorio. Joining me today is Mayor Jack Balch, of course, from the beautiful city of Pleasanton. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you. Glad to be here and really excited.
Well, you know, summer's right around the corner. Always exciting stuff going on in Pleasanton.
Yeah.
What do you got at the top of the show for our viewers?
Yeah, so for Mayor's Choice, I got a few things I'll mention. The first is that Lions Wayside Park is almost completed. The ribbon cutting is kind of landing. Looks like it'll be at the end of May here. We're going to cut the ribbon and dedicate the park in time for 4th of July. And our concert in the park season will start off on July 11th. The city of Pleasanton itself is going to be sponsoring that event. So I'm pretty excited that we're kicking off the new park. People can see it through the fence. So a lot of excitement. I think it was brought up in the past for us as well. And then, excuse me, a couple of other things I want to highlight. As the Mayor of Pleasanton, I was honored to attend the Mayor of Livermore's State of the City address, as were you. And John Marchand did a wonderful job. Very brief presentation of slides, and I was masterclass. So that was pretty nice. Just a couple of other things. I should not maybe go too past Memorial Day. We had a remembrance at our senior center that was well attended, and just really nice to take a moment to reflect on those sacrifices. And then Cone with a Cop. Pleasanton just hosted our Cone with a Cop at the end of summer here. And that leads into my last, which is obviously we're about to graduate 3 high schools, our class of 2025. Our banner is hung. Our ribbons are on Main Street for each of the 3 high schools. And we're truly proud and wish them the best going forward here for any aspiration they may have.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so you'll be attending quite a few of the ceremonies?
Luckily they don't yet invite the mayor to attend between the 3 high schools. That's the superintendent's job and the school board. So my son is 26, so next year I'll be attending one. But we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a busy, packed couple of days. And of course there's a heat wave coming. So, you know, Murphy's Law.
yeah. Maybe you can watch it on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Jack. Let's talk. Let's get into the city issues. The topic that's been for the last several months, if not closer to a year, the city budget.
Yeah.
Can you give our viewers an update? What's going on? What do we expect to hear and see in the next weeks and months?
Yeah, and we've talked about it a few times, and I really want to communicate my appreciation to the Pleasanton community for really stepping up. I just still feel like this budget is, a budget is supposed to reflect your values, your perspectives as a community, and while we're probably not perfect for everyone, it does seem like we are kind of distilling down to the final little changes here on the budget, principally probably with the library being the most concerning element that the community still has. We're looking at shifting what hours we will reduce the library hours if that's what the council majority wills. And so it looks like we'll probably have Saturday and Sunday open, but maybe Friday might be the day we'll close. And we'll come down from approximately 63 hours down to about 48 hours of open library time, which will be pretty similar to many cities in the Tri-Valley. But the budget itself, June 17th, for our viewers, June 17th is the day that the budget is slated to come back to the council for ratification or adoption. So I don't expect many significant changes given this is now the final draft. It doesn't mean that there can't be. The council has always got the authority right up until the last minute to change something, but we are developing that. You know, one of the things conversations that also has come around from the budget process is where and how did we learn from both the sales tax measure of the past and where we're at today. And I just want to make sure people understand that my job today is to make sure we have the best, most accurate information possible so that we can make that best decision for our community with what I have in front of us today as options and facts. And I think our budget is laying out a process that keeps our parks clean, keeps our bathrooms serviced, keeps our trash picked up, and really still provides a lot of amenities. Our school resource officers, as well as our crossing guards on arterial streets, and then a few additional residential streets using objective data. So if we look at an overall where our values are, keeping our children safe and trying to provide for a community that is beautiful and we would like to live in, I think we're doing a really good job. We're not closing a fire station. We're not even looking at that as an option. And so we're really moving beyond that initial list we had into something I think our community can understand. We're belt tightening in a smart way. So June 17th, that will then go into July 1 will be when the new budget comes into place, and we hope to obviously monitor it for both how the economy is doing and if any changes need to occur because maybe something isn't as we expect.
Well, Jack, I was going to ask you about that. So this is a 2-year budget?
Yeah, and that's really the important part. Thank you for pointing that out. It's a 2-year budget and it's a capital improvement plan, and that's the other thing at play. The capital improvement plan is a long-term plan, roads, bridges, air conditioners, roofs, things like that. And so we are really doing a good job for Pleasanton investing. The prior councils and the prior years have had about a $2 million investment in the capital program, and we're doing, if the budget lands where I expect, it'll be about $6 million in year 1 and about an $8 million investment in year 2, which is near, double what the investment has been in the past, and that will really help us try to get a handle on some of this deferred maintenance that we see in town.
Well, right. I mean, I think people probably understand that if you don't replace an air conditioning unit, you have to fix it. And that comes out of the operational budget versus the capital budget where you replace it with a new one that presumably won't break for 5-7 years, right?
Hopefully air conditioners have a 20-year life in the Tri-Valley or so. But the other element I think at play is how much do we save for capital and how much do we spend for current operations? And that conversation happened maybe about a month ago, and I think the community now understands that, yes, in hindsight, wouldn't it have been great if we had an extra $1 million a year to the capital program? Of course, but every person knows you're trying to afford food and groceries and fuel, and so there is only a certain amount you can put to savings. And so our job, I think now, is to take the facts in front of us and try to balance this out, right? So long-term success of Pleasanton. So I'm pretty excited.
All right, Jack, you did mention, I want to just follow up on you, the periodic review, monitoring. It's a 2-year budget. Are you going to take a look? Like I said, the economy may change one direction or the other. What are you, every 6 months, every quarter? What's your anticipated review period?
Yeah, thank you. Great question as well. So there will be a review period every 6 months. It's already built into our processes. It's a little behind. You've got to complete the 6 months, and then you do the math of the accounting, and then you get the review period where you can check. So you're always allowed to tinker, usually by like 7th or 8th month in on each of those periods. The other thing is that the current year we're in is projected to have a surplus. We've already allocated that surplus to additional capital based on what we anticipate. If the surplus comes in even stronger than we think, we'll have additional monies to possibly backfill some things. And so if there's not, and so I think that's just, Pleasanton, I think, is really muscled up its fiscal knowledge related to its budget, the community conversation, maybe not robust in all aspects, but we take it seriously. It is a major responsibility to spend the public's hard-earned taxpayer money.
Well, and not only will you help them save their money, but they can spend it maybe on a new microbrewery in town. So let's tell us a little bit about this new microbrewery.
Yeah, so Danville Brew is coming to town. Let me get my notes. I want to make sure I say it correctly. Danville Brewing is going to come down on Utah Street. They gave me a whole thing to tell you where it's at, but the reality is people probably know it. It's right by the Arco, the McDonald's on the corner, or the Surf Through Car Wash. So it's going to be right there. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be not only a full-fledged true beer production facility, but it will also have a tasting room, and it will also have where they have fire pits and an outdoor arena or area, an area so that you can sit. Very akin to what we might see in Santa Barbara or some other locations. We've seen kind of this new exciting kind of way to do it. So there'll be seating around. The other cool part is that it will have room for a couple of food trucks that will come in. during business hours so that it can supplement the brewery itself. They'll have a small stage, outdoor games, and then basically they're going to make it a family vibrant area. And for that area of our community, that is a great thing to draw people into that side of town. So, we keep looking at how we can provide these opportunity sites around town and keep our economy going. So I think people are really going to like it. It's an 8,600 square foot beer production facility and an 1,800 square foot covered patio for the guests. So yeah, we're really excited to see that come to town.
Yeah, I think I'm excited too, Jack, because a few years ago, that shopping center across Bernal came in, and there's always been complaints. The other shopping center, which is a little bit further south on Bernal, has always struggled a bit, although it seems more stable lately. But there's a CVS, there's a Starbucks, and now this just seems like a great addition, especially for the residents that live in that can walk there and have some fun times at a microbrewery that's not just. They're making their own beer there.
Yeah, and it's a full design build for themselves, so it's going to be very custom for it. It's going to be a new building. It's not going to be a remodel type of thing. And it's also, it also points out that we have a lot of businesses, not necessarily on Main Street, that add to the economic vitality of town, right? So we've got these little centers spread through town. I think this one will draw in overall. I think this will be a draw overall. So
from what I've seen from other microbreweries or even tap rooms, they're a destination.
Yeah.
So people go out of their way to go there, which just helps. Like I said, you talked about food trucks, but I know there's a few restaurants over by that gas station that will hopefully see some business because the tap room is there, right?
Yep. One of my favorite taquerias is there as well. So yeah, and I live on that side of town. I should maybe disclose. So I'm kind of excited to see it. It's walking distance from my house. Instead of going left towards Main Street, I go straight, and that might be the new destination. So yeah.
All right, Jack, we're excited. I'm sure you'll be at the groundbreaking or the ribbon cutting whenever that happens.
I hope so. Yes, definitely.
All right, one final question. Any anticipation when it'll open? I know it's going to take a while to construct, but...
Yeah, so they're just getting their final approvals now. They just got it from the Planning Commission. So I would say groundbreaking, building design plans, we're probably still 8 months out. Yeah, but maybe they'll plan it for a fall. That would be a little quick. I don't think they'll make fall given where we're at today. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Great. All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back in this edition of the Mayor's Report for Pleasanton. Welcome back to this edition of the Mayor's Report for Pleasanton. We are here talking with Mayor Jack Balch. Welcome back, Jack.
Thank you. Yep.
Hey, let's talk about Museum on Main. Every once in a while we talk about it. It's a really great community resource, but it's featured an exhibit on the transformations that result from natural disasters. You're kind of thinking, well, wait a minute, what's that about? But it's just interesting what happens when a natural disaster and how places change. So give our viewers a little insight into the exhibit.
Yeah, so I haven't been myself yet, but I'm pretty excited to also see it. I'll maybe start off by saying, make a plan for your family. Natural disasters can hit at any time. We know we're obviously in an earthquake area. Fire risks are always ever present now in California. So make a plan. And we have a program through our fire department where you can learn how to make a kit. But the Museum on Main's exhibit is called Earthquakes to Epidemics, How Disaster Transforms California's People and Places, as it explores the impacts on natural and human-made disasters. And again, it highlights earthquakes, wildfires, floods, droughts, and pandemics, I guess is the new one they're adding in. Kind of the nice part about it, though, is it kind of shows how the community, through their exhibit, it comes together after the natural disaster. Maybe we update building codes to handle something. Maybe we learn from our challenges on emergency response. And so public health initiatives and how we alter that, and our emergency services, how they all come together. And so that is one aspect. It presents stories from events like the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. The Camp Fire was in there as well. And yeah, and they talk about our shared history of how a community comes together and then builds resilience for that disaster or other things learned at the time. You know, and as we look at the Southern California wildfires and the challenges there, I've been to a few events put on by a lot of the real estate groups in our community, and they're talking about how the products or housing product got built over time, how it wasn't holistically thought of, some of those communities, how they were kind of more micro neighborhoods brought together, so it didn't allow as much emergency preparedness planning as maybe they could have in hindsight. Specifically, maybe the fire hydrants, as we've learned, is a major challenge. So pretty exciting to see this exhibit in a safe and sane way. It does run now through September 20th, so through the summer mostly, so that residents can get there. Museum on Main is located at 603 Main Street. And so, yeah, please take a look. And they do a lot of great exhibits. I'm really excited about their programming.
Yeah, well, maybe this is a fun, no, I shouldn't say wrong word, fun word, but instructional way of teaching people that, you know, you need to be prepared for that natural disaster. They're going to happen. They always will, whether it's an earthquake or fire. And this might be a way for you to get prepared.
Yeah, and you know, and I'll just maybe go a little further. In the realm of climate change, what we have or not, whether you're a climate change believer or not, it doesn't matter. The reality is that natural disasters are becoming larger events, larger scale events, and so the response time of what we have as a city to prepare or to respond to you is going to be longer. It's going to be a day or two, maybe three. So make sure you have a kit, water, food, and first aid kit. Make sure your family's prepared to go that distance or longer. We have a CERT program that helps put together that through the fire department. And so just be prepared. I just want to restate that.
Yep, good advice, Jack.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, let's talk a little bit about our local assembly person, our Rebecca Bauer-Cahan, recently bestowed the Alan Hu Foundation with its Nonprofit of the Year for all its work it does. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about what, and it's based in Pleasanton, so tell us a little bit about the Alan Hu Foundation.
Yeah, you know, out of tragedy, similar to our Museum on Main, comes an opportunity for learning and exploration. So the Alan Hu Foundation was created by Alan's parents after wishing to help other people. Alan wanted to become a psychiatrist and heal those suffering from mental health challenges. And at 15 years old, he passed away by suicide, right? And so the parents established the Alan Hu Foundation, dedicated to promoting mental health awareness, raising and removing the stigma around psychiatric disorders, and supporting fundamental research for cures or support. You know, I have a teenage son, so it tears me up because mental health is really a challenge for these youth now. And I'll just go on record, I don't think our social media is helping them too much, right? Social media is a curated storyline. It's not reality. You know, as mayor, I always post some of the best parts of being mayor on it, but you know, there's some downside parts that people don't see. So I just want to make sure people are aware, you know, mental health is really affecting our youth. So
Jack, tell us a little bit about the mission of the foundation.
Yeah, so they are trying to raise money through concerts, scholarships to our Tri-Valley seniors pursuing psychology, psychiatry, or neuroscience, working to solve mental health challenges and the stigmas around it. They also partnered with the city, along with Three Valleys Community Foundation and the Tri-Valley Nonprofit Alliance, to provide youth grants to the foundation to advance their goals. And as part of her selection, Rebecca Bauer-Cahan, District 16's pick for this year's award, she stated, "In a moment when our state is confronting a growing mental health crisis, their efforts to break down stigma and support families could not be more timely or more important," she added. So I absolutely agree. More information can be found about the foundation, its programs, its mission at alanhufoundation.org.
Great. That's great. Good. Now, I want to remind our viewers that TV30 actually featured the Alan Hu Foundation on a program produced by TV30 called Health Chat, and you can see it now broadcasting on tv30.org. All right, Jack, Another subject, city business, water rates recently changed for businesses and residents. Can you summarize them for our viewers?
Yeah, so the City Council is on a path to evaluating water rates. Again, we obviously are very aware of the rate increases we've had in the past, and so residents want to make sure the accounting for what we need to do in the future is accounted for and accurate. And so water rates are shifting. One of the major challenges with water rates that the city is facing is what I call the collapsing of the tiers. We used to have that high water rate users would pay more per gallon because they used more, theoretically more wear and tear on the pipes and pumps than a lower water rate user. And that is now basically deemed illegal or subject to legal challenge. And so the collapsing of the tiers so that a gallon of water is a gallon of water, no matter how many gallons of volume you use, really alters our water costs significantly and how we're able to incentivize conservation, basically. So that's one major challenge we're facing. We obviously have capital needs that we've really looked at. We know what the cost of the pump is. We know what we need there. We are taking on some debt. The debt we're looking at is 30-year debt, 5% interest or so, and we're trying to evaluate what interest rate we'll do. And then lastly, just the overall cost, because now the City of Pleasanton is receiving 100% of its water from Zone 7. Our groundwaters are still offline. So we're taking this all into consideration. The conversation scheduled for June 3rd at the City Council to look at how we can move water rates around or where we need to go with water rates to get on a plan to fiscal sustainability. Most users will see that their bi-monthly, so every other month bill, will go up approximately $20 to $40 is what our initial analysis is showing in the first year of the implementation of this plan. So the City Council is looking at doing the full 218 process and undertaking that. And again, that's slated for the June 3rd meeting. So I understand that no one wants to pay more for anything in light of paying more for fuel or any of that. But we also need to make a critical step to make sure we can deliver affordable, clean water to all our residents and preserving our water system. And these investments are now becoming very apparently critical.
Right, you made a couple of years ago, big investment in a new well for PFAS, and that was quite a bit of money.
Yeah, and you know, one of the other things we did is we learned a lot from that whole process with our prior water rate work. So there's going to be a water rate calculator on the website. People will be able to go in and see. But the other critical thing is we have done a water asset management plan looking at every pipe, every pump, every switch, every bit of gear. So we know now what we're going to replace and at what time so that we don't have those major costly repairs, that we're actually balancing repair versus replacement timeline similar to the other things the city is evaluating.
All right, Jack. Finally, let's talk about upcoming events in the city. I mean, we top of the show, summer's around the corner. You mentioned the graduations, Father's Day. A lot of people will be out and about. What else is going on in Pleasanton?
Yeah, so thank you very much. I always like this part as well. So June 19th celebration will be on Saturday, June 14th. I know it's a little odd. 11 to 1 p.m. at the Firehouse Arts Center. Juneteenth marks a critical moment in American history, the emancipation of enslaved African Americans, opportunity to reflect, come together, and understand the cultural experiences of others. It's a free event. We'll have music and dance and storytelling, including Pleasanton Unified School District's STEP program, STEP team, which is a nonprofit that shares African culture through dance, play, and movement. So bring your family to that event. And then, like I also mentioned, we are going to be cutting the ribbon a little further out at the end of June for Lions Wayside Park and re-kicking off the summer concert series, Concert in the Parks, on Friday afternoons, 7 p.m. So the first Friday, July 11th, the first Friday after 4th of July, will be when the series starts up. And so Pleasanton's just got a lot of different activities coming in. And then I will mention that June 7th and 8th is Weekend on Main. And so our Main Street will close down. It's going to be a hot rod element, and so it will be pretty exciting to see that as well. So a lot of different events. I didn't go in chronological order, so hopefully the viewers can follow all that, but we'll go from there.
And at the top of the hour, top of the show, you talked a little bit about the ribbon cutting. Is it late May or late June?
Excuse me, the ribbon cutting is late June. I think it's going to be June 27th.
Okay.
At, and I think it's 1:30 p.m. So yeah, if we go in order, we've got graduations, which will probably already occur by this time that it airs. And then we're going to have the June 7th weekend on Main, the ribbon cutting June 27th, June 19th's in the middle of that, and then we go to 4th of July and on for the concert series.
Well, thank you so much, Jack, for joining us. And thank you for watching this edition of the Mayor's Report for Pleasanton. Join us for the next episode of the Mayor's Report right here on Tri-Valley TV. I'm Splendorio. Thank you so much for joining us.